All right, it should be going live here in a couple seconds.
Okay.
Okay, St. Rita, welcome back. We are live once again as part of our St. Rita Feast Day of Giving live stream. So for those of you just tuning in for the first time, we've had such a fun day so far. We kicked it off bright and early this morning. We had a nice message go out from Father Tom McCarthy, 1983 graduate, who really kicked us off and set us off on a good challenge for the day that, as always, as we do these Feast Day of Givings, it's a day of giving and it's a day of supporting our St. Rita family. And what we mean in that way is give what you can. If you could give monetarily a little bit, give a little bit. If you could give a little bit more than that, then give a little bit more. Please do. But if you can just give a retweet, give a share, send this over to somebody who you think is going to like it, who you think is going to be able to help us, who you think might just want to hear about our friend Kyle here a little bit and catch up on all the good things that he's got going on. So that's what today's all about. Today's about celebrating our St. Rita family and all the incredible things that we have doing here today. And it's a day for us to be able to say thank you to all of our alumni and benefactors for all that they do out there every single year and keep us to be able to showing up every day and working with our great students and being able to come into these great facilities. And like we said earlier, we had our landscaping crew out here making sure our building is looking fantastic and everything. So it's really been such a fun day so far. So as you guys get into it, there is a couple different options that we have for donating this year. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, right there's a donate now button. You can click that thing, donate right through Facebook. That's going to be counted as part of our Feast Day of Giving totals. If you're on Venmo, everybody, all of you guys are on Venmo. I know I'm on Venmo. Kyle's on Venmo. Everyone's on Venmo now. Guys, you guys can pull up St. Rita HS on Venmo. Shoot us your donation that way, and we'll be able to tally it into our Feast Day of Giving totals, or go right to our St. Rita website. There's a big donate button in the top right. Click that thing, do whatever you can, and help us on this great day so far. We're off to a good start. We're over $6,000 just in this morning portion, and this is going to run for 2 days. We have a big goal this year. Last year, we reached a high goal of $32,000. This year, we have that big goal of $50,000 that we're going to bring in over the course of 2 days. So it's going to be a lot of fun for us, but we can't do that without you, St. Rita. And this is a chance for us to say thank you and for us to tell you a little bit of what's going on inside the hallways here. So without further ado, you may have seen him on his recent ABC7 appearance. He's been hitting all the major news networks, promoing his big book, his big children's book coming up that he has out now, Teachers Legion, Heroes of the Universe. I know I got a chance to talk to him a little bit before we went on air. I had a chance. I'm still waiting. I ordered on Amazon a couple days ago, and I really wanted to be able to hold it up right now and say, I got my copy. All you guys need to go out and get yours. But I will get a chance. Once I get that, I'll throw something up on Twitter or something. So we can do that. So here with me, senior, future University of Chicago Maroon, Kyle James. Kyle, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
I'm glad to be here. Wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
I'm glad you could squeeze this in your busy schedule. I had you booked a week ago. I was hoping to get you in, thought I might be able to get the first interview with you and get you talking about your new book. Next thing you know, ABC7 comes in and swoops you, and everybody else wants to hear all about you. So I'm getting beat out by these major news networks, man.
Oh, they were fast, huh?
they're the more important ones. So we'll let you get those up to start. So Kyle, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're enjoying a little bit of your vacation. I know you guys are graduating on Sunday. That's going to be a special time for you guys to be able to kind of culminate your entire high school career, which is going to be a lot of fun. I know you guys haven't had the easiest kind of back end of your high school career the last kind of year and a half or so, but it's always special. That graduation day is always something that you're gonna remember for forever. So it's always fun. But tell us, you're all done with finals and everything. Are we all good to go?
We're good. We're good.
So we're getting that cap and gown. We're off. All right. That's always
gotta get it.
Always one of those things. You got to make sure you got to finish strong. And once, even if you still got exams or something coming up, it's always fun to finish. So Kyle, fill us in. How has the school year been going? Have you been remote or hybrid, or have you been in full time? How's the school year been for you?
So in the beginning, I was remote with everybody because we all start off remote. But then I went to the hybrid model because I wanted to at least be able to get that interaction with the students because I missed that so much. You don't really know what you have until it's gone. Everybody's like, go to school, go to school. But then once that's taken away from you, you really miss it. And you really miss those interactions with not only your fellow students, but also the teachers, because that's so huge. And I totally forgot about that in my mind when I was going remote. I was like, all right, I'm not getting the same feeling that I normally get. So I had to at least go hybrid just to get back in those guys' faces and just to have those interactions. But the school year went good considering the circumstances because, I mean, everybody's going through this COVID. It's huge adversity. It's nothing easy. It's trial and error, figuring things out, trying new things. But based on the circumstances, considering what we did, I think we did a great job, especially at St. Rita. And we were still able to learn things, still able to move forward. And it's all about progression. As long as you're not going backwards, you're doing a great job. And I think we did a great job of going forward and moving forward this year.
For sure. And then you talk about that moment of appreciation that like you don't realize what you have to go on. And Coach Nee and I talked about that a lot this morning, that like even those little things like going out just to practice and like you take for granted the fact that like, especially like you, and I want you to talk about this a little bit as a student, like how's it, because you do have a lot of guys, like we have a lot of students that come from all over the place, you know, that like you don't just like hang out with them in your neighborhood. Like some of the only times you get to interact with some of these guys because they come from distances or they hang out, they do other things, like might be just those times walking through the halls or sitting in class next to guys and things like that. Like, how's that been trying to kind of balance seeing guys, not necessarily seeing all your guys? Like, has it been tough?
I'm so glad that you say that because it's so sad for me because there's guys that I just saw yesterday at the graduation that I haven't seen in like months. Like some of my best friends, I'm like, dude, where have you been? And that's kind of been like the struggle for me. Like going back, I'm like, where are these guys at? I just wish I could interact with these guys because you, like you said, you really don't know what you have until it's gone. So just having that appreciation for interactions you get and just having that appreciation for life in general, I can just say that you just have to take advantage of every moment because you never know when it'll come to an end. Because no one could have foresaw this, and no one could have foresaw the results that would have bring, and no one could have foresaw that the fact I wouldn't be able to see some of my favorite guys every morning, just all joking around before school, you know, going by the vending machine, going to get something for breakfast, and now I can't do that anymore. So that just really puts into perspective how you should appreciate those moments.
For sure. And I know I speaking from my own experiences, I still talk about with my former classmates and guys I graduated with that it is those little interactions in the hallway. You know, it's just
100%.
like closing up the locker and just kind of, I don't know, you do just
What's
stuff,
up, coach? How you doing?
for sure. And it's just kind of those everyday interactions that you really do come to appreciate and they come to be special and you get to know guys that way. And especially, and it's something that you don't necessarily get to talk about as much, that there's a lot of, we talk about student leadership around St. Rita, and there's a lot of kind of seniority that when we talk about our Big Brother program, we talk about some of these other programs that the school culture at St. Rita really relies on the fact of experience, and it's kind of student run to a point to where like there's a little bit of experience and example being set from the top down. So those little interactions that seniors get to have with juniors, kind of the passing of the torch going on, and sophomores bringing freshmen into like now being part of the family. Like those are kind of those interactions that like we like as a teacher, like I miss that most of like of not being able to have you guys in all the time and things like that. So I can't even imagine. And Coach Nee definitely did a great job giving you guys the appreciation. I want to give you guys your class and all the students and teachers at St. Rita just unbelievable amount of credit and a bit of thanks for the amount of work that you guys went in. Because like I said, it is hard. It was a lot of trial and error. It was trying new things. It was trying to see what worked for him. I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time that you ever e-learned before? Like that all of a sudden you were going like, you went from being a normal full-time student to last March, you're home full-time and you're trying to figure out how exactly you could be and let's be honest, Kyle, you weren't in like the easiest classes, and you know, you're taking classes, you're in all APs, you're striving for major grades that there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into being after school and those extra help that we have around here that you don't quite
Yeah,
necessarily get to the full extent when you're in that
that's
hybrid
very
mode,
true.
or you're in remote. So trust us, it's not just you guys that feel it that's missing out. I miss you guys, and
Oh
not
yeah.
seeing all you guys all the time. So, but we were able to come back this year. We were able to get a
Mhm.
little bit into hybrid. You start seeing as we get into the winter time coming out, start getting a little bit of sports coming back into play. Obviously, football season comes around. We get a little bit of love back into football season. Uh, we'll,
Yes, sir.
we'll touch on football in a second, but as it started to get normal, did you feel a sense of like a little bit of normalcy coming back into the school, like as things started to change throughout winter and like basketball season kind of started and that excitement kind of got going? Like, was there a little bit of sense of change that you felt throughout the year?
Yeah. It was kind of difficult. I mean, of course, it's going to be difficult when you have those circumstances. But yeah, just being back around the guys, seeing the basketball starting, seeing all the different extracurriculars going on, seeing those posts on St. Rita media page. Look at this guy highlighting those sports teams, highlighting all the things that's going on. That brought back a sense of normalcy for me. It was like, all right, we took a hit, but we're still St. Rita. We're still strong. We're still a family, and we can still continue going on. It's all about being adaptable. And I feel like we did that to a great job of doing that. And we were able to still establish a sense of normalcy even with the storm. And I appreciate that so much because it kind of took away from the chaos a little bit. When you can bring back some of that thing that you're so used to, and you can bring back some of that, it takes away from all the negative things a little bit. So I really appreciate that, and it did feel a bit more normal.
So how was it as we kind of got back into some sports coming back? And I know you're very involved in activities here. I'll give a rundown for you guys because I got the whole list here in front of me. It might take a second here. So you're a 4-year football player. You're involved in the Advice Beyond the Classroom. You've been a part of the lacrosse team. You've done track, part of the Black Student Union. You're part of basketball. You've been on Kairos. You've come back as a Kairos leader. You're also part of the recent state championship, Advice Beyond the Classroom. I gave them a shout out. So congratulations. We'll
Thank
touch on that
you.
in a second here for sure. I want to get back to that. But how has it been kind of balancing all the activities and the sports with the academic side of the hybrid model? You know, like you're balancing a lot going on. How is that coming up this year?
That is key. That is key. Coming into St. Rita, the reason why I made the decision to come to St. Rita, me and my mom had agreed upon the balance. Balance was a huge word for us. It was a huge key word for us. Balance has been described so many times throughout our conversations. That balance between academics, sports, extracurriculars. Uh, you don't want to get caught up too much on one side. You want to have full holistic type of background. So just it was kind of similar a little bit. It wasn't too hard of a transition. It was adversity, but balancing that school and then extracurriculars and then putting the hybrid COVID setbacks into it, it was kind of tough at first, but I think I was able to do it pretty well because I'd already had that huge emphasis on balancing both. Challenges are obviously make it harder, but having the situations where you can do things that you love, because things like football, uh, advice beyond the classroom, being a part of the Black Student Union, all those things are things that I enjoy doing. So when you love doing something, it's not really hard. It propels you to do everything better, and that's what I feel is so great about St. Rita. They have so many different things that you can be in, and it just makes you want to do better and progress in each one of them all at once. So I feel like it only makes you better. And the hybrid model presented a challenge, but the strong emphasis that I had on balance and the strong way that St. Rita portrays its balance, it really helped me get through it.
For sure. I mean, that's exactly what it is, and that's something we talk about around here a lot. A lot is that balance between we want kids to continually push themselves to be academically strong and be involved in the sports and clubs and activities. I mean, we have all as much as you could fill into your day is going to be able to get there. So I mean,
Definitely.
there's so much, and all definitely does rely. And there's a lot of things that go into it. There's the time management aspect, and from my coaching perspective, I want to be honest. We talk about all the time that I love when our players are more involved because it's
Yeah.
those grades are always traditionally much higher when they're in season or when they're more involved, because you don't have a lot of time to do anything else.
Exactly.
Your time management skills. Let's be honest, Kyle, you go through a normal day. Let's say you get into school at 7:45 in the morning. We start class at 8. You go through a normal class period from 8 until 2:45 or 2:30, whatever, until we get out at 2:30. You immediately jump out of that. You walk out to the football field. You're on football field until about 5 o'clock, 5:30. You get home at, let's say, what, 6:40?
Yeah.
By the time you get out at about 6:30, 6:45, depending on whether or not Coach Quinn has you staying for film afterwards. So there you go. Or if it's a lifting day. So let's say you get home at 7 o'clock at night, and now all of a sudden you got to roll through four AP classes worth of homework and 2 honors classes, and then in the spare time, go ahead and grab some dinner and hit the hay.
You got no choice. You got no choice but to do right.
So I mean, that it really is. It does give you that opportunity that you have to get your stuff done, and it really does put a lot of emphasis on that balance that. It keeps us an eye on you guys. It keeps you guys in new grade checks that we do weekly, and it keeps the academic side involved, that we see you every day. It's a lot harder to not do too well in class when you don't see the coach that knows that you're not doing too well in class. Because I know you've heard me out there that I ask guys all the time how we doing in class and what the grades are looking like, and teach me something. Teach me something that they learned in school that day.
I always look forward to that.
So hey, I love learning new stuff. There's nothing better than finding out something. Like I had a student come in for an Andrew Smilik leadership award interview that he taught me a little bit about the Battle of Gettysburg yesterday and the American Revolution. So it's awesome. Always fun to keep guys on their toes and see what they're learning and things like that, because that's the emphasis. Just making sure that this is still about your education. We're building a foundation that everything else that goes around that education is going to be there for you. And at some point, unfortunately, the football season or the athletics aren't going to always be there for you. And it's going to be that education that you're going to have to rely on down the stretch there. So there really is, like you said, balance is that key word that you've really had to lean on and rely on as you're striving to do those great things. So I definitely want to talk some favorites here. Let's get some people involved here. Let's talk about, you got a favorite class or a favorite teacher or something that, let's say either this year or kind of over your 4 years here, somebody that teacher that really stood out for you or something?
All right, I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit here. I got two favorite teachers, and I would say 2 favorite classes. So
let's say all of your teachers are favorites. They're all great teachers. Yeah. You just happen to only.
Come on, I did this for you guys. Come on, you guys are all my favorites. I love you all. But a couple that stood out the most, I would say. Mr. Collins' theology class, just the thing about it brought so many new perspectives to me, and it emphasized how important just trying to be kind and trying to be understanding to everyone, no matter what their gender is, sexual orientation, race. It just opened my mind to a whole different level, and it's made me a better person. I feel it's made me more accepting. It's strengthened my thought process and everything, and I just feel like kindness can take you so far. Like, of course, you need knowledge, skills, a skill set, all that. But just being able to look somebody in the face, give them a handshake, a smile, walking through the hallway, someone drops their books, you help them pick them up. That is so huge to me. And I feel like there's not as much as an emphasis on communication in a kind way as there used to be, or as there should be. And the theology class helped me understand so many new perspectives, so many new religions, that it's not just you in the world, and it's not just your opinion that matters. You have to try and play on that other side, put yourself in other people's shoes. Empathy was the hugest part of that class, and that's why I appreciate Mr. Conlon and his class so much. And also, the other one would be Mr. Baffo's English class, I would say, because the rhetoric that goes on in there is just unbelievable. I mean, this guy does the voices in Shakespeare. Oh, hello. He's so funny. He did English.
I'm sure there's a lot of alums out there. Mr. Baffo, obviously being there for a long time. He was there. I had Mr. Baffo for didn't have him for an English class, but I had him for sports journalism class at the time. And so there's a lot of people tuning in right now that are watching that definitely have sat in a Mr. Baffo class and Conlon class. So Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
That's a name that definitely is recognized by a lot of by young alums for sure. A couple teachers that definitely have left an impact.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, he's just so animated and so in tune. Like he truly wants the students to take away from his class. I mean, every lesson, it feels like he has a lesson of the day where you ponder on the activity, the things that are going on in the world. And that was one of my favorite parts of the day because you just get to discuss a plethora of topics and just kind of pick everybody's brain and see where they're coming from. And I'm a huge guy. Loves to debate, loves to argue, whether it be sports, Michael Jordan, LeBron debates, politics.
It's not a real debate though.
I guess Chicago, but anyway, I love doing that debating type of thing, and that just opened me up to so many new things. And I really appreciate his class because it totally propelled my mind forward, and it also brought me so many new perspectives and just had me thinking in totally different ways than I normally would. And I love being challenged in that way. And I feel like his class and Mr. Collins' class did that to perfection.
How do you think that's going to help you carry it over to a place like University of Chicago?
Oh, that's literally like the perfect setup going into it because University of Chicago, there's so many people coming from so many different directions. You got guys coming from different countries, from all over the state. I mean, most of the population of Chicago isn't actually from Chicago. So you're going to get so many different perspectives. Somebody's going to think this and somebody's going to think that. And you might come into it thinking this, but they think the total opposite and they can argue a totally different way. And I think me going through those classes and being so accepting of others' opinions and being able to view someone's perspectives and then communicate mine to them, I think that's so important, especially going to a school like Chicago.
So let me ask you, obviously, Kyle, you go through, you have a very successful junior year athletically in football. You start to get a little bit of football recruiting aspect. You're obviously still balancing the academic side of things, that something that your mom has done such a great job. I've heard you talk about that a lot, the agreement that you and your mom had coming out that I know is going to carry you over, that really is going to set you on an unbelievable path that has seemed to carry it over to college as well. What was it like going through, like recruiting wise, or like how did you wind up on University of Chicago and the balance there, and talk about just recruiting during COVID and stuff like that. How has that been for you?
So I think it was my junior year film that I started sending out to coaches that started getting me a little bit of buzz. I also did an interview with Edgy Tim that I think that helped me get a little bit more recruitment. So schools like U Chicago, I had the University of San Diego offers. I actually had a offer from the University of Chicago. It was like an offer in admissions. So it kind of puts you on the map, I guess you could say.
You kind of broke up during that. What was that last place?
I said I actually had an offer from the University of Chicago. Like it was an offer in admissions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of puts you on the map, I guess you could say. So I had University of Chicago offer, University of San Diego, Valpo, and many others, Truman State, and some more schools. And I applied to a whole bunch of schools. I applied to all the schools that I had offers from out the gate. So to make sure that was taken care of. And I also applied to many other schools, University of Dayton, Yale, Harvard, all of those. I tried to broaden my horizons as far as I possibly could. And it was a process, definitely was a process. And my mom, she was on me a little bit during that process, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I was just trying to put my options as many as I can possibly do. And during that process, I'm not gonna lie, I fell in love with the University of Chicago a little bit. I mean, just thinking about the campus, everybody knows the prestige of the school, but what really drew me is the way everything is so interconnected, and it seems like everybody is looking out for each other. I mean, of course, these are going to be the people that are leading the country in the future. Everybody's performing highly, but it didn't seem like, oh, a dog eat dog world, cutthroat, competitive type of thing. Although life is competitive and there are levels and things like that, but it just feels like everybody wants each other to succeed, and we're all trying to strive to make the world a better place. So once we come together with our talents and our skills and all our perspectives, then we can really make something happen. And I felt that visiting the campus, just being in that atmosphere, it was amazing. And that during the recruiting process for me, it kind of sold me on them.
For sure. And I'm sure I know that you have a good relationship with Mr. Bernie Del Giorno, who is a great friend of St. Rita and benefactor, and helps having your name on the front of the building as part of the campus.
It does.
So I know he's a fantastic friend of St. Rita, and you have a great relationship with him, as well as Nick Adent, who's another former St. Rita Mustang, now over at the University of Chicago as well. So I'm sure they were great resources for you as well, right?
Yes, definitely. Mr. Del Giorno and Nick, can't thank them enough for all the support they've offered me. And I'm just going to continue building that relationship with them. And they're going to continue being my guys, my go-to guys.
Those are not bad guys to have in your corner by any means, for sure.
No, not at all.
For sure. So, all right, I want to get down to this main topic here that I know I want to talk about. So let's talk Teacher Legion, Heroes of the Universe. And I told you that I was going to get a notification from Amazon the second that we went live on this thing that my book got delivered. So I just want to let you know I got the Amazon notification. That's why I'm smiling. My book officially was delivered earlier today, or just now. Awesome. So I wish I could hold it up right here, but I bought my copy because I'm so proud and I'm so excited to be able to help this, to help your cause, to help everything. So talk us through. I know you had anybody that had the opportunity to see Kyle on ABC7 the other day. He gave a little background on it, but give us a quick little recap, how you got started in this. I know your mom, Takesha, also had a book of her own that had just been released. Mm-hmm. We'll give her a shout out. Her book, From Our Eyes, is available as well, aimed more at middle school students, kind of their development and relationship building and things along those lines. So talk to us how your book came about and kind of what inspired that process.
Well, my mom, just her writing her book, it kind of put into perspective to me, maybe I have something to say too. Maybe I have a story to tell as well. And I was thinking about her passion as she goes into the classroom every day. She goes to work. She's a principal, so she manages the teachers and she talks to the kids. And the way she has her passion and she exhibits the love of learning and teaching kids and bringing up the youth, that was so inspiring for me. And the encounters that I have had with teachers, custodians, lunch helpers. And I realized, I was thinking, this is pretty obvious, but it doesn't get talked about enough. They're extremely undervalued. I feel like they don't get the respect, they don't get the admiration that they deserve. And I really just wanted to shine that light on them because they have done so much for me. And I know without certain teachers or without certain relationships with custodians, without certain lunch helpers, that I wouldn't be where I am and I wouldn't have certain perspectives and the certain ideals that I have. So I really just wanted to shine that light on them extremely bright. And I've always loved heroes. So why not cast them as superheroes? I mean, just like the Justice League or the Avengers, instead of fighting crime, these guys are stimulating the minds of youth. So I feel like that's even more important, you know? So that's why I want to call these guys heroes.
Yeah, of course. So so you go through and a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of people have ideas for books and stuff like that, but to go through the actual process of creating it, writing it, going and you went through a self-publishing company to kind of help with that process. Kind of explain that whole process, because that's something that's unique in itself. That it's one thing to have a good idea, and let's say you just wrote a bunch of words onto a paper and you wrote a book, but it's another thing to go through and get it published, get it in stores, get it available for purchase. What was that process like?
So yeah, that's funny. Going into that, you're thinking, okay, write some things down, figure out some characters, bam, book. It's really not that simple. It's really not. So a part of the process was first you have to get a copyright to make sure that no one can infringe you or take any of your ideas. You have to get an ISBN number. You have to edit it. And I used my family to edit it. Me and my family, we looked over it countless times. And another big thing was finding an illustrator. So my illustrator is actually from Siberia. So we communicated through this app called Fiverr. And basically, I just put out my whole vision of how I wanted all the characters to look, how I wanted the pages to be set up. And he was able to come through with it. So I really appreciate that. That was a huge thing because it's like they're on totally different time zones. So I guess when you're going to sleep, they're waking up and working. So you can't really go to sleep. I mean, throughout this process, my mom's waking me up. Your illustrator talks again. You have to text them and tell you what you want, and you have to go back and forth with that. So it was really a fun and interesting process to say the least. But I appreciate it because doing the work and being able to do all that, it makes you feel better about what you accomplished, and you can just look at your final product and say, I did the work to lead up to this.
That's awesome. That's awesome for sure. And especially going through the process, it's one thing that like to be able to have a vision and be able to try and explain it and get it crossed over to somebody that you're not even sitting in their actual room with. And then you have to have a good relationship with, or just have a good line of communication with your illustrators, because they're the ones that really have to bring that thing to life in terms of visual.
They do.
Of course. And page layouts. And that's half the words are one thing. I mean, half the battle, especially with the children's book, is you got to have the right superheroes. They got to look the part. They got to play the part. They got to come to life on those pages for sure.
Yes. So
that's something that is such a cool process. I think that is so incredible to hear about the aspect of going through the self-publishing and the illustrators, that to come in a relationship with the illustrators. So all right. So let's say you go through that point, you get everything. How do you get it from, you have a picture, you have a book with some pictures and some words. How do we get it into Amazon? How do we get, what was that process of getting it produced actually?
So that would be the distributor. I use the distributor called Ingram Spark, and based off of the type of book that you have and the actual book itself and the certain keywords that pop up, they kind of send it out in promo for you. So Ingram Spark is responsible for getting my book onto Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, etc. Because I guess considering the type of book that I had, they were able to stream it to those certain platforms. So that was a key part, Ingram Spark. And that's where I order my own books from to sell to other people. So that was a huge part as far as distribution goes and promotion.
Awesome. So give us a rundown. What are some of the characters that we got in the book? What are let's give a name to some of these superheroes that we got.
How many do you want? Three? Is three okay, or you want?
For sure, you give as many as you want. We could just glimpse a couple. I don't want you getting in any hot water around here, because you already got some turpin. I'm gonna be honest. If I go through that thing and I don't see like a media manager superhero, I might be a little taken back by it. I'll be like, it's fine, but I know you got some critics out there that are interested to see which character they are. So I don't want, you don't have to throw anybody out there under the bus. You don't have to get anybody. Don't get yourself into any hot water by leaking too much. But what's a group of superhero names that you came up with?
One of my favorite superheroes in this reminds me of my mom, and her name is Echo Girl. And her ability is she shoots rings of sound out of her arms and her whole body, really. And it makes her extremely loud. So my mom is extremely loud. She walks into a room, everyone's on alert. And the goal of her superpower was just to make sure it was communication, make sure all the kids are getting an understanding of what they have to do in their assignment of the day. So I really appreciate that character, and my mom was kind of inspiration for that. So Echo Girl's a pretty cool character, and she gets everybody a little bit of ear pain. Nice. And another one of my heroes that I really like, I'm a foodie. If you know me, you know I love food. I'm always asking Coach Gallic, what you getting out to practice, what you want to eat. So my next hero, is it okay if I show a picture of him?
Yeah, for sure. Show it up.
Echo Girl. I'll show you Echo Girl first. So got Echo Girl right there. Look at all the kids. Lesson of the day is. But my second one, I'm a foodie, so it have to be Gourmet Man. This is a shout out to all the lunch helpers out there who keep good food in our bellies, I just wanted to be able to put that on display because I've had lunch helpers are extremely, teachers in general and educators are undervalued in general, but lunch helpers rarely get that shine. So I just wanted to to show how important they are and to really put them in the spotlight. So Gourmet Man has the power of shooting food out of his hands. So if you want that burger, he'll shoot it right out to you. Here you go. Gourmet Man.
Awesome.
Gourmet Man, you know? And then
all right, let's get one more. What's the last? Let's get one more. Last superhero here.
One more. All right. We got the good old history teacher. We're gonna go history teacher, but he's got a superpower. This is Rewind. And his power, he has a magical time machine that allows him to take kids back in time and to see and to have a back in time lesson. In this picture, he's going back to the ancient Egypt where the pyramids are being built. So he's a pretty cool history teacher because he can take you back in time.
There you go. I like the name Rewind too.
Yeah, a little Marty McFly action going.
Yeah, I like that. That's solid. So Kyle, that is awesome. I'm super excited to get my book. I know that's going to go right on my bookshelf back here, and I'm going to right after you sign it. I know we talked about that yesterday. I got to get that signature on it. We'll make it official.
No doubt.
I'm super excited to get that. So tell us where we can find your book at. How can we buy it? Where else can we get it? I know I mentioned Amazon. I got mine through Amazon, but where else can you find your book at?
Yeah, there's Amazon. It's on Target. It's on Walmart, all online, on Barnes and Noble online. It's even on eBay online. Just look up Teacher Legion, and I think it should pop up. And if you have the chance, please give me a review on there. It would help a lot. And yeah, that's the places you can find it.
Awesome. So we have any thoughts for a sequel coming out? We got another book works or anything?
Hey, never count out that possibility. It was a fun thing.
You talk like the Avengers. Like, what if you got a little Marvel DC action? Like, you get a little.
Hey, we could be heading that way.
If you want to go into business, I think I got an idea for another book. You got the illustrators and the publisher. I got the ideas.
All right. Maybe we have to collaborate.
That seems like that. Decent deal. We'll talk shop after this.
Definitely.
Awesome. So, like I said, you can find all Kyle's books. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, anywhere. Make sure leave him a review. Get it for a friend. Get it for a sibling. Get it for the next baby shower you're going to out there. You know, there's a million reasons why we're always looking for new little gift ideas. Help our guy Kyle get his new book. It's called Legion: Heroes of the Universe. So go ahead and look it up. That'll be awesome. So, all right, moving on here, Kyle. Last thing I want to touch on, obviously. We had a fun season this year. I got to talk a little football with you. Congratulations. Finished up first team all CCL, running back and DB. You put in an absolute work behind the backfield for us, getting a carrying a serious load for us. I mean, let's be honest. You went basically 6 weeks without coming off the field for a majority of, except for the few times where it literally had to pull you off the field for a minute or two or for a play or two to get you on. So it was fun. I mean, give us a rundown. What was it like finally after the whole ordeal? You know, we're off, we're on, we're pushing it back. We got no camp, but we finally, within I think 9 days, we found out we were practicing, and then we were on the field ready to go. And then we pinned our ears back for 6 weeks and got after it. What was it like just finally when you were finally able to step on the field after that time when we got together in March? I think it was March 1st or 2nd. When we finally got back on the field together. I mean, what was that feeling like, just finally being back out there with your boys? Like you said, those guys that you hadn't seen in months. What was it like finally stepping out there?
I'm going to be honest. I mean, for all that long time, it felt like we were in football limbo. And then being able to come back, I've gotten back to heaven again. I'm back on my field. I can do whatever I want. I can play. I mean, it was just amazing. I can talk to my guys. It was another situation where you just get those interactions again, and then you're playing the sport that you love. I mean, I fell in love with this game when I was 6 years old, and that being taken away from me, it hurt. And a lot of times you don't realize what you have until it's gone. And it's like, we can't play football. Like, are you serious? And as soon as I touch that football field, like I said, it's like I'm back in heaven again. When I can get out there and catch the ball and make a juke move, when I can see guys out here making one-hand catches and guys running from sideline to sideline making tackles, that's an amazing experience. And being able to get back out there with the guys are so important. It's a family here, and the family, the brotherhood on the St. Rita football team, it's like no other. And just being able to get out there and joke with the guys, you know, play this game that we've all fallen in love with, get back out there with the coaches and have those interactions. It was just second to none. And I feel like that showed in the way that we played. We played in a fierce way as a team, as a collaborative unit. And I feel like that connection that we have makes us play much better. We have the talent, of course. You have to have the talent. We had the talent, but we had the IQ, the football IQ, but we just came together. And being away from the game so long, it only brought us closer because we realized this isn't promised for us. We have to make something happen in the limited time that we have. And I'm just so appreciative of all the guys, all the people that came together, and all the coaches and all the staff to be able to play this season as we played it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that really was the bit of appreciation that, like, we did, like I said, we didn't think that up until the day before we had actually found out that, I'm gonna be honest, it was very, very slim chances that we were getting ready to go, just because, there was at the time, there was another wave that they said was about to be coming. There was a million different things going on that it was just, it wasn't looking good. And then finally getting an opportunity to stand back on the field. And like you said, it's different. There's something about that walk. And I'm going to be honest, I've walked onto a lot of football fields in my life. There's something about walking onto our St. Rita football field that, like, you walk up that little blacktop runway, like, across the track, looking at the stadium, that, like,
come on,
there's something about that walk that, like, it's like from the second you walk out of the building to when you're walking up there, there's like 3 minutes of, like, it's just like nothing else really matters. It's like,
yep.
There's something about that thing that, and I know I felt the same way about it, that every single player and coach that we had talked, I mean, every single one of us coaches had talked so long of just wanting to get back out there and just wishing that we could just see the guys and what we can, even if it was just being able to do walkthroughs or something, just be able to get these guys around. And because we know, I mean, it's such a special thing that
it is.
It's that balance side, I mean, you can't, like, you got to equal balance. And just because we lose in one part, we still got to be able to kind of balance out the other side. That is such an important part, because let's be honest. I mean, the academics are stressful, and
yes,
when you're working at such a high level academically and you're grinding in the classroom and you're thinking about calculus, and then you got AP government, and then you got to go into your physics class, and all of a sudden you get to just exhale and you get to go on the football field and hopefully you remember all the stuff that you're supposed to do, and that doesn't turn into something. And I know we've had a lot of fun over the last couple of days last couple of years, because you've had your mind's been on everything, because you've had a little bit of everything on your plate at all times. So I won't say the nickname that Coach Kuski calls you. We're talking with him later, but I know it's always been fun, and that opportunity to just kind of clear the mind when you step on the field to balance out just the stressful part of going through the grind of school and all day, and being able to have that release that we love so much. So
perfect.
That's awesome. Is there a memory that you got that you're going to kind of hang on to? If I know that's a loaded question and that's a big one, but is there something that, like, looking back on it, like, all right, this is something that, like, is a unique memory that I'm going to kind of hang on to for just kind of looking back at your time at Rita?
There has been countless times where we faced blood, sweat, and tears and gone out and battled together. But one of the things that I will most remember and I hold to such high esteem is the Prep Bowl run that we made a couple years ago, when I wasn't even a key player on the varsity team. I was a sophomore. And this resonated with me because we weren't even supposed to play the Prep Bowl game. We literally had to go downstairs, stand in the hallway, and fight to be able to get that game. That meant so much to me, because not only did we fight to get it, we then won it, showing that we came together in a group to fight to get something and to accomplish it. That meant so much to me, because it showed what that brotherhood meant. Coming in, I was only a sophomore. I didn't really understand. I'm going through it. St. Rita is good high school, but that kind of cemented for me. This is more than just football. This is more than just school. It's more than just academics. It's more than just extracurriculars. It's a family. And coming together like that, and then going through the process, not only coming together to get in it, but to keep winning and winning and winning and winning. It shows that we were a brotherhood and we had our minds set. Not only are we gonna get in this thing, we're gonna win it. And that's what we did. And we did it in dominant fashion. And that will forever be one of the moments that I remember. And I will tell to my future kids one day about St. Rita High School.
Absolutely. And that's a memory. And that's what St. Rita is all about, is leaving those lasting memories with you throw out all the key words that we always talk about: brotherhood, family, being strong,
not a gimmick,
building. I mean, it's having the ability to count on the guy next to you, that not only even just like on the football field, but in the classroom, they're so like, because you get into our classes. I mean, excuse me, some of your AP classes, there could be some classes that don't have a whole lot of guys in there, that like you're really working in a collaborative fashion, that to be able that everyone's on the same page. And you talk about some of our theology classes, that those are, excuse me, got a little tickle in my throat. Don't want to get it out here. But those are some of the classes that you really have the opportunity to work with other guys and bounce back and forth ideas. And like, it's really becomes important that you have that kind of reflection portion of it to be able to meet you halfway. So it is super, super special that those memories that you have, that it's more than just like, it would have been easy to say like the state championship run that we had. It was a blast, I mean, or being able to knock off. I mean, how many memories do we got this year that we could rattle through? And at another time, I'd love to be able to sit down and just kind of talk all the memories that we have over here. But that's what St. Rita's all about. And just kind of bringing it around full circle, that's really what today's all about. I mean, we talk about the St. Rita Feast Day of Giving, is that it's about giving back to our communities, giving back to our St. Rita family that has always been there for us. It has always been there when we've needed them, and we've always been able to rely on them. And it's been such an overwhelming and a welcoming family that's really, it's about paying it forward to the people that came before us, that built the buildings, that knocked down the walls, that made the paths, that everybody that's gone there before. I mean, to be honest, how appreciative. I mean, I had the same way, that I'm where I am today because of many Rita men before me that, let's be honest, after high school, I went to Illinois Wesleyan University that had many St. Rita students go to and found their own success in, and then go on and do many great things in that fashion. So there are paths, no matter which way guys go coming out of St. Rita, there are Rita men before them that have gone down that path, that are looking to help in any way possible, because it's all about just giving back to the family. Because we are, like you said, we are one big brotherhood that, I'm gonna be honest, like, you're graduating 11 years after I graduated. I graduated many years after many of our other coaches graduated. We got a long span in between talking about St. Rita, but how quick is it to be able to talk about, like, oh, you're talking about St. Rita? Like, let's be honest, you and Coach Quinn could talk about St. Rita like it's nothing. And you guys went to two totally different buildings in two totally different eras, totally different worlds. But there's something about talking about St. Rita that, like, oh, we're talking about the same thing, like, like my brotherhood's the same brotherhood that you got. That's why, like, I'm back here in an office. So for those of you outside of St. Rita, my office is back in the advancement office. So I have an opportunity every day that I get to see guys like John Schmidt, who's a 1984 grad, our director of major gifts, and Coach Jay, Coach Jukinski, who our head lacrosse coach, our director of advancement, is a grad himself. And I mean, we span 3 different decades of when we graduated from, but we talk the same St. Rita, we talk that same brotherhood, and we get to talk to you guys that you talk the same St. Rita that we talk. It's all about that brotherhood, and it's all about that family aspect that we've had that has really meant so much to us to get us to where we are today, and more importantly, who we are today, because of those values that we have, because of the balance and everything like that. So that's why it's so important, days like today, to where we have an opportunity. And I love it so much, because I think today is such a great day to show everybody out there what's still going on within the hallways of St. Rita, and being able to sit down with you and just kind of talk about the school and how this year's been. And this morning we had an opportunity to talk with Coach Nee about how classes have been, and him as a teacher, and kind of that transition, and really showing everybody out there that, okay, despite the fact that this year has been absolutely crazy, it's been adversity ridden. We've had students in session. We've had them hybrid. Our teachers are doing different things. We've had to take on so much, and still, no matter what, at the end of the year, we have a class of Rita men that are graduating across our altar. They're going off, and they're going to go on and do amazing things, no matter what they go on to do.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, this is all St. Rita, and this is all the same family, and we're all part of this thing forever. So But like I said, this is a very special day, and this opportunity that I want to give you that to say a little something to all the alumni and benefactors out there that we talk about so much, especially you've had the opportunity to speak at some other events that we've done before and things like that. Why, in your eyes, why is it so important that now, as you're becoming a part of that alumni brotherhood, and we talk about you're going to be part of that end zone crew and things like that,
Definitely.
why is it so important to keep it up as alumni and to donate even a little bit on a day like today?
I just can't thank the alumni and benefactors enough. I can't put it into words, but I'm gonna try because I mean you guys have contributed so much to this culture and to me and to so many people that have gone throughout year after year after year. And I think it's just so important to continue to contribute because this is a factory for not only success but a factory of good people. We're trying to create good men out of this, better husbands, better fathers, better employees, better bosses. You're contributing to creating that. And those people are going to change the world. These people are going to make differences. They're going to be the people of the next generation. This is the youth, the elevating higher and higher, and you're contributing to those people. I think that's so important, and I really can't thank that enough because I know firsthand going through the system how they can contribute and how they can make a difference in someone's life. I tell my mom all the time, I tell people all the time, I tell my coaches, tell my teachers, I tell a lot of people, St. Rita is one of the best decisions I've ever made. And that's not a gimmick. That's not me just saying that. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made because it's expanded my horizon in such a greater way. Going from 8th grade and then coming out as a 12th grader, there has been so much change within me, mentally, physically, and St. Rita has contributed to all of that. And to all the alumni and benefactors who kindly continue to give, you've helped build me. And not only me, you've helped build Coach Gallick, you've helped build John Schmidt, you've helped build Coach Kuska, you've helped build all of those people. And I think it's so important that you continue to help us build because this is a culture that's so strong and it's a family that's so strong and it will continue to go on and on and on, creating the leaders of the after years. And I really appreciate that so much. And it means so much in my heart because I love this place. And I just want to continue to see it keep going and going and going. And contributors like you guys make that possible in each and every way.
Oh, I really can't say it better than that. I mean, that really is what it's all about. That's the amount that goes in, that every dollar that goes in goes towards building somebody. And like you
Every
said,
dollar.
it's about building. It's about producing not success all the time. It's about producing good people and producing good men. And it rings so true when you say it's about building better husbands, better fathers, better bosses, better coworkers, just better people in the community every day, better people that are going to come out and want to strive to be successful. They want to strive to be good people.
Exactly.
That's exactly, I couldn't have said it better myself. So everybody watching out there, I mean, that is what the St. Rita community has always been about. And that is why days like today are so important for our feast day of giving, is that we need to be able to replenish our tuition assistance fund and our scholarship and financial aid fund, things like that, to make sure that every student out there that we're going to be able to help and be able to support as much as possible, as many students that want to be able to come to St. Rita and they want to take part in this culture that we have here and this culture that we've built here for many, many years. I mean, 100 years before Kyle was even born, this culture was in the process of being built. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we joke about it, but I mean, that's the honesty. We're in 116 years of a culture that has every year is replenishing and continuing. And that's why it's so important now more than ever that everybody watching out there, it's super, super easy that if you can give a little bit, give a little bit. If you could give more of that within your means, please find it as much as you could give today to be able to help our St. Rita community and our St. Rita families out there in the world that are going to continue to build guys like Kyle and to continue to produce and make sure that those guys are going to be prepared and have the best resources available so that they could go on and pay it forward. And when Kyle goes on, he's going to go to University of Chicago and he's going to go on and make tons and tons of money. And he's going to be able to give it back to St. Rita when he gets an opportunity to, because he knows exactly what that's like. And that's an opportunity that anybody out there watching, please, if you have the opportunity to, It's super, super easy. We have 3 ways to donate this year. So right here, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you go ahead and click that donate button right now and donate through Facebook. You can go right to our St. Rita website, click that donate button in the top right corner, or go to our alumni page. You could donate there. Give us a call here in the office, or super easy, go into Venmo. Open up your phone, click your Venmo app, go to @St. Rita HS. Send us your donation via Venmo. We'll be able to take it that way as well. But guys, everything that comes in today and tomorrow is going to go directly to students like Kyle and the students like we're going to talk to later on today. We have Mike Gahan and Caleb Brown who are going to sit down with Coach Kuska later on today. Again, and those are the students that this money goes to. It goes towards making sure that students and families are going to be supported for many, many years, well after Kyle's gone, well after I'm gone, well after everybody. This St. Rita culture is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to progress no matter what.
Yes.
As we continue, and as we continue to get great guys like Kyle into our alumni base and be able to have those guys continue to pay it forward just like they did for us. So Kyle,
Absolutely.
I cannot thank you enough for sitting down with me today. I know, like I said, we could sit here and we could talk for another handful of hours of just continuing to go. And I'm super excited. Like I said, you can find Kyle's book, find it on Amazon. You get it on Barnes & Noble. You get it at Target. Google it. You could find it no matter where you look. That book is Teacher Legion, Heroes of the Universe. And for those of you in the Chicagoland area, you can catch Kyle next year at the University of Chicago. He's going to be playing a little football out there. So I am super excited to be able to keep a close eye on his career, keep him close to Chicago, maybe keep him close to St. Rita a little bit more as he goes out
Yes, sir.
great things. So Kyle, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. I really
Thank you so much.
the time. So like I said, we're going to continue on today. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to be back at 3:00 this afternoon, right after we finish up our student novena that we have going on here today. I'm going to take a little break for that and spend some time with our Augustinians and half of our student body that's going to be finished up going through their St. Rita, the last day of the novena today. So we're going to hit that. And then we will be back live at 3:00 this afternoon. We'll be sitting down with head football coach, Coach Kuska, senior linebacker Mike Gahan, and junior wide receiver Caleb Brown. So we'll be talking a little St. Rita football. We'll talk a little bit more about last season and these guys' run that they had. We'll take a look also at next year. We're bringing back the opening up with the Mount Carmel rivalry. We have hitting the road for a national game versus Trinity, Kentucky. So it's going to be an exciting time. So remember, tune in at 3:00 this afternoon. Hit that donate button if you can. Whatever you find it in your means, that's what today is all about. We are already off. I'm getting texts from Coach Yukinski right now from the back office. He's texting me over 9,000. We're already moving up. We're going to continue to move that bar up as we get throughout the day. So please, if you guys could donate within your means. Donate as much as you can. Donate a like, donate a share, retweet this thing, send it to somebody else who you know is going to be interested in watching it. That's what it's all about. Just continue to pay it forward, get some good traction out there. And we're going to be going all day. So this is going to be a fun finish here for us here on the St. Feast Day live stream. So for Kyle James, my name is Rob Gallick signing off for now. We will be back at 3 p.m., everybody. Thank you very much. Go Mustangs.
Go Mustangs.